everyone. I hope you all have been following my videos on the chapter Elements, Compounds and Mixtures. We have already discussed what are elements, what are compounds and what are mixtures. So today we'll be discussing about separation of mixtures. Now mixtures can be of different types. So there may be a solid-solid mixture. It may be a solid liquid mixture and a liquid mixture. So depending on the type of mixture, there are different types of methods or techniques used for separation of such mixtures. So first we start off with solid mixture. Now, if the solid particles are large and different in shape, size and color, the common method used for separating such type of mixture is by hand picking. Like how your mother separates grain from rice, or even stones, small stones from rice. So simple method is by hand picking. Even if I give you a mixture of different colors of buttons, solid mixture, you easily separate it out by hand picking. The next one is magnetic separation. Suppose I give you a mixture of iron and suppose sawdust. Iron and sawdust. We all know iron is attracted by a magnet. So we can easily take a magnet, keep it on the top of the mixture, or bring it close to the mixture. All the iron particles will be attracted by the magnet and the sawdust is left behind. So this method is known as magnetic separation. Then the next one is by winnowing. You all must have done this in geography and during agriculture. What happens after the paddy and all is picked up, left up for drying, then the farmers, they separate the husk and the grain by winnowing. This method is used for separating lighter and heavier solid particles. All the lighter husk, it is blown away by the wind, and the grain particles which are heavier is left behind. Now the one which we are going to discuss is sublimation. Now I hope everyone knows what is sublimation. Sublimation is the process in which a solid directly changes into its gaseous form on heating. And if you remove the heat, it changes back into solid by cooling. That means there is no liquid formed here. Solid directly changes into gas. And on removing the heat or on cooling it, the gas will directly change into solid. So suppose you are giving a mixture of iodine if you are given a mixture of iodine and salt, a common salt that you use at home. Now iodine sublimes. So since iodine sublimes, the easiest method is by heating it. So we take an evaporating dish. We take the mixture of iodine and salt and then we cover it with a funnel. We heat it. Okay, now what happens? Iodine. Now iodine, when it is in the solid form, it is silver grey in color. It is crystalline in form. Okay, so it is a silver grey crystal. When you heat it, only the iodine will change directly into vapor. Okay, and the vapors of iodine are violet in color. You remove the heat. The iodine will change back into crystals or solid form, and then now see what is left behind here. Only salt. So we have easily separated iodine and salt. So if you are given a mixture of anything, mixture in which one of the substance sublimes, then we can follow this method of separation. Other substances which sublime are ammonium chloride, then dry ice. Dry ice is the solid form of carbon dioxide. This is the solid form of carbon dioxide. So ice and dry ice are different. Ice is solid form of water. Dry ice is solid form of carbon dioxide. Then camphor. Everyone has seen that. So when you do puja or arati, use camphor. It does not change into liquid, it changes directly into vapor. So camphor is another example of another substance which sublimes. Then the naphthalene balls that you put inside your clothes and all. Does it change into liquid? If you keep a big naphthalene ball, after a few months the size has reduced. It changes directly from solid into vapor. So these are examples of substances that sublime. So if you get a mixture of these substances and something else, then we can separate it easily by the process of sublimation. So the main principle on which this method is based on is one of the constituent does sublime. So one of the constituent sublimes, the other does not. Now we come to solid liquid mixture. Now solid liquid mixture is again of two types. Insoluble and soluble. So some solids are soluble in the liquid, whereas some solids are insoluble in the liquid. So first we'll discuss about insoluble solid liquid mixture. Under this also we have two types. One, the solid is heavier, and in the other the solid is lighter. So solid liquid mixture, two types. The solid may be insoluble in the liquid, or the solid may be soluble in the liquid. I can give you example here. Sand and water. Sand does not dissolve in water. Here salt and water. Salt dissolves in water. And under insoluble also we have here solid is heavier and the other type is solid is lighter. For example, we take a mixture of mud and water, and here we take a mixture of the easiest one, chalk powder, and water. So the first one, how do we separate a mixture of mud and water? So we take a beaker and then we half fill it with water and then we add mud to it. We all know it does not dissolve. Now let it stand for some time. Don't touch it. Let it stand for some time. After some time you see, since the solid, that is mud, is heavier, all the mud particles has settled down. This process is called sedimentation. So, when the heavy solid particles settle down in water, the process is called sedimentation. Now, I can take this beaker and slowly pour it into another beaker. So, I take another beaker, I pick this up and without disturbing the mud particle, and I pour it here. Here, we'll get clear water, and in the first beaker, only the mud particles are left behind. So pouring of this water without disturbing the mud particles is known as decantation. Okay, so see, I have easily separated mud and water. So, solid liquid mixture in which the solid is insoluble in the liquid and the solid is heavier can be separated by the process of sedimentation and decantation. Now, like suppose you've got huge tanks in on your rooftop. Now, when water comes from the water source, it contains a lot of impurities. So, in this case, also what happens is where the tank is not touched, all the mud particles settle down, and then whatever comes to our tank is the clear water which comes from the upper part. Now, to increase the speed of sedimentation in tanks, alum can be added. Alum can be added. Now, what is alum? Now, I don't know about other languages, but in Nepal it is called fitkeri. That is used in saloons also. The barber, after shaving someone's beard, he uses that white ice-like thing. So that is called alum. So the alum is dropped on the inside the tank. This alum helps in speeding up the process of sedimentation, and this is known as loading. So, if any substance is used to speed up the process of sedimentation, it is known as loading. Now we come to the next method, that is the solid is lighter. And I gave you the example of chalk powder and water. So if you take a beaker and you half fill it with water and you add chalk powder to it. How much ever you stir, the chalk powder will not dissolve in the water. Let it stand for some time. Since the chalk powder is lighter than water, it floats. Okay, it does not settle down. So now what do? We take a filter paper and then, suppose this is a filter paper, we fold it like this and like this, so it forms a cone. Okay, and then we take a funnel and insert this filter paper inside the funnel. Then I'll keep another beaker here. Now pour this mixture through this filter paper. All the water will come down. The chalk powder is left behind here. So we have easily separated chalk powder and water. What is left behind in the filter paper is called residue, and the clear water that comes down is known as the filtrate, and this method is known as filtration. So the process used for insoluble solid liquid mixture in which the solid is lighter is known as filtration. Thank you everyone. I hope you all understood this topic. We'll continue with the remaining methods of separation in the next video. Keep watching my videos, like and subscribe. Thank you.